At this point, we need a petition to rename my channel into Lemonknitdk. Hello everybody! I'm sitting on the floor next to my sofa, which means we are having the traditional monthly knitting podcast, talking about my works in progresses, my finished objects, my yarn acquisitions, my knitting plans, and media I consumed throughout the last month. My name is Nadya, I'm the face behind the Lemony channel where we discuss all things knitting every Thursday. This time I have a lot to share with you and I'm very excited about it, but I might be rambling even more than usual because I am recording this super early. It's like around 8 a.m. and I usually record around 11. Unfortunately, I'm very busy this week, so it's the only time I can record. So first two things to mention are non-knitting related specifically. First, I had my first ever Instagram reel go viral. It was the silliest video, but I'm very happy about it because this means that because of the amount of followers I got from this video blowing up, we might be able to actually fill in another bingo card very soon, knitting bingo for 2026, which is awesome. And second of all, my last video with pattern roundup also brought in a lot of new people to my channel, which means we are already over 750 people on this channel. So we might be actually hitting the bingo card of reaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube this year, which leads me to a question. What would you guys want me to do for 1,000 subscribers celebration? I know it's too early, it might take me months. It's not usual that I get a lot of new subscribers a week. It's usually just a few people, but at one point we might get there. So I prefer to plan ahead. So if you have any ideas for a video or maybe something I could do for the celebration, leave your thoughts in the comments below because, as you know, I don't like making decisions by myself. And it's literally content to thank you guys. So who would I be if I decided on my own? Oh, and the third thing, heatwave sucks. Let's get into it. I think we'll start with the usual order of things. So let's start with the finished objects. And I think the first finished object we need to talk about is the one that's been here the longest, which is my test knit for Fruit Gingham sweater by CM Knits. Did I prepare it for recording? Of course not. Did I wear it every single day this week and last week and a week before that? Yes. Does it look messy because of this? Yes. Should I have ironed it or something? No, because I don't have an iron. I don't really have anything. What we have is what we share. Perfection is nowhere to be seen on this channel, and you know that at this point. This sweater, it's finished! What can I say? It's been a journey. I started it back in March, so it took me 2 months and a half. No, 2 months and, well, yeah, 2 months and a half to finish it. Mostly because of the gingham, because the sleeves with the fruit go by super fast. Like, I think I made a row with lemons a day, so like the whole sleeve would take me like 4 days. The gingham though, the gingham fatigue is real. And now imagine how designer CM Knits is feeling about it, because she made 3 samples and then she made the 4th sample just now. So she knit 4 sweaters like this with all over gingham color work. She's my hero. I would cry and probably give up, as I usually do, you know me. But in the end, it turned out so good. First of all, the fit is amazing. I went for about 20 centimeters of positive ease. It gives me the most drapey and lightweight sweater because I also made it from Host Coast, which is a wool and cotton blend. So it's super lightweight. I held it double throughout the whole project. I will post a screenshot from Ravelry to tell you how much of yarn I used for it because I don't remember. But I did not use a lot, which is very funny. I bought a cone of this cantaloupe orange color, and I bought a cone of this warm brown color, and each cone was 500 grams. So I was like, okay, so we have 250 grams of each thread to hold together. It should be enough for a sweater. Guys, it will be enough for like 2 or 3 sweaters, to be honest. I think, well, maybe I used like a third of each cone. It's insane. It doesn't weigh like a cotton sweater. Last year I made a fully cotton sweater, and it is so heavy, and I am so used to cotton sweaters being quite heavy. Well, at least when I make them, because like plus sizes usually take a lot of yarn weight to finish them. But this one literally is so lightweight. I was worried a little bit that I'm making a summer-ish sweater for Danish summers that are not exactly cold. So I was worried I will be sweating a lot in it, but actually because of the cotton in this mix and because of how thin this yarn is and how airy the fabric is, because I had to hit the gauge, even though it's color work, so it has like the second layer of floats and everything, even with all these combined, it lets wind through so well that I don't really feel hot in it, which is amazing. Now, this sweater made me the biggest fan of Holst Coast ever because of the amount of yarn I used, because of how cheap it was to buy this amount of yarn, because of how the sweater opened up after blocking. And also, I am obsessed with how many colors they have, because like if you watched my summer yarns roundup last year, one of my favorite yarns was Cotton Merino by Knitting for Olive. And it's pricey, and it has like, I don't know how many colors they have. I will add it in the editing, but it's not a lot of colors. That I can say for sure. Coast has so many colors. I think literally everybody will be able to find a color for them. So I'm a big Holst garn fan from now on, and I have bought so many cones you've seen already from them since then. And I will be buying more because this is amazing yarn for all kinds of summer projects. And you're gonna have to watch me talk about other projects in this yarn today because I love it. The hardest part of this sweater for me was the 3-color work. I've never done this before, and I can say that I was thriving when doing it. I absolutely have a lot of mistakes because I also didn't use I always forget the name of the technique that you use for like catching floats in a column and hiding it like in between the layers. I forgot the name of this technique. I will probably also add it. I'm telling you, I am insane today. Because of the amount of stitches that was kind of like changing all the time and the amount of threads I was holding, I didn't want to do that. So I opted for catching floats as I usually do, which was not a great idea because I managed to accidentally hold the thread on the wrong layer of my like floats, 3 colors going up. So you can absolutely see that I have this section on the sleeve. Let me see if you will be able to see it. If I realize, oh no, you can absolutely see it. I was like, I should add some B-roll. No, it's very visible. That I could have fixed. But who got time for fixing that? Also, it kind of, if you don't look at it, it looks as if it was just like adding some sprinkles on top of the sweater. So, you know me, I'm not the person who frogs things that she does not find too visible. So I might duplicate stitch over it at some point, I don't know. For now, I love this sweater too much to care. There's so many hair on it, and funny enough, it's not only my hair. My husband also has very long hair, so our apartment is lost hair central. Another thing about 3-colored color work is it's very easy to tangle your yarn, especially if you're working 2 threads of each color. it can get a pain in your booty region. So what I opted to doing is, when I have this lemon section, like bottom top, Jesus, the top of the lemon, and there is a few rows where you have both the leaf and the lemon to work in one row. I did not catch the brown color on the lemon portion of knitting. I made a very long float and I tried to make it as loose as possible. And on the next row, when I was reaching the lemon, I would basically take this float, put it on my needle and knit it together with the current loop I was knitting through. Because of that, I did not need to care about carrying one more long float while I was having a whole mess of threads everywhere. And in the end, I think it actually looks quite good because the second sleeve actually doesn't have that much problems with it because I stopped caring about the long float. So definitely recommend this technique. I don't remember where I found it. There is not a lot of tutorials about free colored color work online. Most of them are telling you to use the jacquard. Jacquard is what this technique is called. Basically, everybody is telling you to use that. But I found this, I think it was like an Instagram reel talking about how the girl did that. I will try to find it, but the algorithm, it's not very easy to find content you've seen 2 months ago, so. And for binding off the sleeves, I first did a very bad mistake. I decided to go the easy way. I really like a bind off where, for the 2x2 rib, where you basically are, instead of the usual bind off, you like pull the loop over and drop it on the new stitch and then continue like this. But in the stretchy bind off for 2x2 rib, you can basically knit a stitch and then knit it with the one on your needle through the back loop, and if your next stitch is purling, you purl it and then you purl them together, which gives more elasticity. But the mistake was that I did not account for cotton in my sweater. With wool, it never failed me before, and it looks always like very neat border. It looks cute. And it's much easier than Italian bind off that I only go for like very chic garments I'm making, definitely not for fun sweaters. And I did that, but because cotton doesn't have that much give and memory and bounce to it, my sleeve started looking like this. So like the whole ribbing was flaring out like crazy. So unfortunately, I had to undo my ribbing and redo it the normal way, which means using Italian bind off. So I did the 2 double knitting setup rows and bound it off after switching the one of the knit and one of the purls around, so that from 2x2 rib it became 1-on-1 rib. And in the end it looks quite neat, which is what I'm very happy about. But I was very sad to redo it. You know me, I hate redoing things. I'm too chaotic for this. Another thing that I was worried in the beginning was that neckline might be a bit too narrow for me. Nope. It was actually the problem of not me blocking the garment. After blocking, it fits perfectly. Shoulders sit great. I will post some pictures, maybe I already did. And it is such a staple in my wardrobe now because, lemon knit. And I really like the colors I chose. I had a few people tell me that they did not expect these colors to work and they're surprised that it looks this good. I always knew, like, this is cute, right? Everybody is making the test knit in like the original colors. Well, not everybody, but most people are using the original colors, which is like white background with yellow lemons. But I am not exactly a white sweater person, even if it has lemons on it. So I went for something that will be more in my color scheme, and also something that would look very cute in autumn when I will be craving these brownish and orange-ish colors. And I love it so much. The test knit was amazing, and the pattern will be coming very, very soon. You can subscribe to Sam Knits Instagram to know when it actually rolls out. I'm currently doing the last tech editing run throughout the pattern, so it should be ready very, very, very soon. And congratulations for Chrissy that she made such a cute and fun sweater for everybody's summer. Now, the second finished object I have is actually also a test knit. And this one you haven't seen yet, because this has been the most impulsive thing I've ever done with my knitting. When Fioricini Knits posted her sunflower top for the first time, I became obsessed. I needed it in my life, even though there are two things about it that are very much not me. First of all, I don't like boat necks. Second of all, I don't like cropped tops because I, if you might have noticed, have a bit of fat pretty much everywhere. And I'm not the biggest fan of how things fit me when I make them crop. Even though it is actually my mistake because my torso is actually quite short, so crop things are actually look more flattering on me. It's just some kind of insecurities that came with my Slavic brain all the way from my mother country. So I decided this will be a perfect garment to try to let go of those insecurities and actually try something that might work. And boy, oh boy, did it work. So I applied for the test knit, and Beatrice was the sweetest person ever to let me in, and I'm very happy about it. And I was like, remember the cone of Host Coast I got from their shop when I was there because I got obsessed with the color? What if I make the sunflower top in bluebell colors? I mean, the colorway is not called bluebell, it's called kingfisher, but for me it reminds me of bluebells, of chicory, of flowers like that. And I was like, yes, thank you very much. So I held a double throughout the whole top. I am absolutely in love with this thing. First of all, I absolutely love the fit. Second of all, Beatrice not only gives an option to make bust darts, she also added customizable bust darts that you can actually plan ahead for your own body, not like for general measurements, you know? I did not use them. I used the standard bust darts and it worked perfect for me. It does not ride up in the front, so I'm very happy about that. And Beatrice also tells you how many repeats of the short rows you need for the bust difference between your fuller bust and upper bust. For me, it was 4 rounds of repeats and looks great. The only thing about bust darts is that I was not very paying attention type of gal, because Beatrice actually posted a video of how to resolve the short rows in the round so that you don't get gaps in your bust darts. I did not watch it. I thought I was smart and I will kind of crank it out. Right now it's not that visible. You can kind of see the gaps, but I spent a lot of time retentioning everything around those bust darts just because I did not do them the right way. You live and you learn. Next time I will pay more attention, and also I know there will be next time because I need a second version of this because Beatrice is working on fingering weight version of the same top. Of course I need it. I did not make any modifications to the top. I followed the pattern. What I did do is I decided to change the color of the petals, like of the scallops on the bottom. And after doing that, I realized it was not balanced out. So I decided to duplicate stitch these triangular shapes to make them look more like petals. Which was a little bit of a mistake on my part because now the scallops that were not riding up before I did that are riding up. Because the fabric where I did the duplicate stitching is much thicker than the scallop itself. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about it yet. I'm thinking of a few ways to handle it. I can use crochet reinforcement for the scallop part. I can sew a little thread in every petal so that it just like curls it up back. I can sew pieces of cloth in the shape of a petal as a back of those petals to help them hold their shape. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. What I do know that it's cute. I have also separately knitted a row of the scallops and sew them on the neckline just to add a little bit of balance between the colors, because otherwise it was a bit weird that it was only light color at the bottom of the top, so I added some at the top of the top. My absolutely favorite detail is how the shoulders look like this little strap. It's so cute. Overall, it's gonna be my favorite summer knit, I swear to God. It's cute, it's super drapey, it actually does look flattering on me. The only thing that is not flattering on me is the armholes, because I have very round arms, and because of that, when I wear something that doesn't have any shoulder caps, my arms are kind of leaking out of everything. But because of how drapey it is, it doesn't look too bad. So I'm very happy about it. And it hides the bra straps and it hides the bra itself, so it's not too deep. And later on, Beatrice also added her version of optional borders, edges that you can add to your armholes and your boat neck if you want to stop it from rolling. I do want it to roll, so I'm not doing it, but this will also make it possible for you to make your armholes smaller if you don't need that much drape in this area. So a lot of customization, just the right time, honestly. It is such a fast knit. I was not working on it religiously, so I was working on my other projects as well. And it took me like a week and a half to finish it and half a week for the duplicate stitching. So very quick knit. I'm not sure when it's gonna be released. I assume somewhere in the end of July, because the test knit is running until somewhere in the end of July. But definitely follow Fioricini Knits on Instagram to find out when it comes out. I 100% recommend this pattern. It's amazing. I love it. Literally cannot wait to make another one. The next one's gonna be pink or purple. I have too much cool yarn that I need to use up. Now I've been talking for like half an hour already, and I still haven't finished with the finished objects, which is not something we usually see on this channel. I usually have a million whips, but I never finish anything. I did finish another pattern though. I have showed you the beginnings of this project, and now it's finished and it's being worn by me every single day, especially in this heat wave. It's the Garden Vines bandana by My Knit Projects, and it's a free pattern for a bandana. It's lace bandana made in fingering weight yarn. Gerda did such a good job with this bandana. I absolutely love it. I wear it literally non-stop. It was such a quick knit. It's very potato chippy lace. Instructions, love them. The yarn I used, also love it. It's Permin Elise, which is 90% cotton, 10% cashmere. And it's so soft. I love it. And super lightweight. Altogether, it took me a ball and a little bit more of a second ball, so I had to buy another ball, and now I have leftovers of this yarn that I don't know what to use for. This is a very typical situation in this household, so I would say this is quite an easy lace to make. So I'm not sure if it's beginner friendly, but if I was a adventurous beginner, I would definitely go for it. And I absolutely love the color. Guys, like this color, it's such a me color. I love it so much. Literally wear it every day. So it is my personal weapon against the heat wave. So, and oh my God, the heat wave is, guys, I can't not talk about it. I posted the pictures of the finished sunflower top a few days ago, and I got someone asking me what highlighter I used for the photos. And I am very disappointed to tell you that this highlighter is a limited edition, so you can't really buy it anymore. Because this highlighter is called Aalborg 2026 Heatwave, and the brand that makes this highlighter is called Ignorant People. Every time we go through a heatwave, I'm hoping that maybe this will finally open people's eyes that it's not just wokes who are caring about the ecology and how everything is doomed. That is actually, we are reaching the point of no return. Maybe actually we have reached it already. I haven't seen reading through researches a lot lately, so maybe. And you might say, Nadya, this is a knitting channel. Why are you talking about ecology and politics around ecology? Well, guys, because it's not politics. Because if we don't do something about it, there will be no knitting. There will be no nothing. And it's not the doomsday talking. I'm just pissed that people are trying to act as if nothing is happening. As if like, well, yeah, it's a heat wave, yes, we're suffering, but well, it's just for a few days, so it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna be fine, babe. It's not gonna be fine. And I'm not asking everybody to like immediately change all of their habits and, I don't know, start eating vegan, stop using one-time use products, stop using so much plastic, stop buying so many clothes. I'm not doing any of that. The only thing I want you guys to do is to maybe go and look for any volunteer organizations in your region that need help. And it might not be monetary help. You don't need to pay for it. All you need is to find like a small thing you can do to help, and that will be already more than just not doing anything. And it does help. You might think that if you do one thing that won't affect anything, and that is pretty much correct. There's no single person in the world that can change everything right now with the whole world burning up. But every single action you do and every time you share this action being done, it can help open up more people's eyes. And I absolutely loved this argument by Lena Norms a few days ago. She said that she has only mended one pair of socks, but because of her video, a lot of people started sending her pictures of the socks they mended because of her video. And now we have more people that are actually fixing their clothes instead of throwing them into the landfill and buying 10 more things from Temu. And that is kind of the thing that we need right now. Popularizing actually caring and actually talking about the problems and advocating for change within our governments. Because I am very sorry, but yes, giving out water to people in subway to help them not die from dehydration is great. But it is a temporary solution. It's not gonna work next time the heat wave comes, and it will come because we are already kind of screwed up this portion of our life. So, not to be a downer, but maybe this will open up a conversation with your friends and family, for example, and lead to at least some kind of positive change. Off to the works in progress we go. Let's start with the new ones you haven't seen yet. And the first one is another testnet. At this point, we need a petition to rename my channel into Lemon Testnet. This testnet is another fish sweater by Kate Gray Designs. Yes, you know I love her. Yes, I'm testing my friend's design after I tech edited it. Yes, so what? It's not illegal. But ever since Kate posted her very first pictures of another fish sweater, I was like, both know I need it. Can you write it faster? She did not write it faster. Maybe it's a good thing. But now it's finally in testing, and I am a very happy tester that is knitting on it right now. Here's how it's looking right now. It's a raglan construction with color work going from pretty much the upper part all the way to the bottom and throughout the whole sleeves. And you know what? This woman has spiked this pattern with something. I swear to God, because this is so addictive. I have so many projects going on right now, and I can't stop knitting on this sweater even though I have a lot of time to finish it. The deadline is in September, and it's DK weight yarn. So I don't have any need to rush it. But the pattern is so addictive. This is one of those cases of color work where you always have the next row that you're like, oh, but now I have like one color row. I want to do that before I switch to something else because it's an easy one. And then you're like, oh, wait, but now we're starting the fishes. I want to finish the fishes first. And then it's like, oh, but it's like, this one is a setup row for the next portion of the waves. So I want to do that now. It is so potato chippy. I literally, like, the one more row syndrome is crazy with this one. I knit the collar for a week, and then all of the color work you see right now, I knitted through 3 days, 3 days and a half, because I started today for a few rows already. So 3 days and a half for half the yoke for my quite a big size. Now I am using Drops Daisy, which is 100% merino wool, for this very summer-inspired sweater with fishes all around it and in the colors of an ocean and a beach. To be fair, I blame Kate for this because her sweaters, her samples, are in 100% wool as well. She's using Kelborn Woolen Scout, which is pretty much the same yarn, to be fair. Like, I hit gauge on the same needles easily. And knitting with 100% wool during heat wave is not a smart thing to do, can I tell you that? But I can't stop. I literally cannot stop, and it's looking so cute. I will post some, like, add some pictures of me wearing it, and I am obsessed. Like, I literally can never get bored knitting this sweater. I kind of feel like it's gonna be the quickest colorwork sweater I have ever finished because I just can't stop. And the fit is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody adding a proper short row shaping for the back of a raglan sweater before. Like, I might have. I don't need that many raglan sweaters. I don't really like how raglan sweaters look on me, but this one, hell yeah. This is my pride and joy, and I can't wait to finish this and show it to you. Though the pattern won't be coming out anytime soon, because if the deadline is in September, then it's probably releasing somewhere in September. So you will have an option to knit the wool sweater in actually good weather for knitting wool sweaters. Another new whip we have is the Trail Shawl by Ronya Herkalecto. It's a pattern from Unfolding Landscapes book that I fell in love with, and actually fell in love with a lot of patterns from that book. By the way, I'm thinking about making a video kinda inspired by Gabriella's series of Worth It or Not talking about knitting patterns. But I kind of want to make it about books and magazines talking about knitting patterns and seeing if buying this book or this pattern is worth it for me, and giving you like points to calculate whether it will be something you would like to buy. Tell me if you're interested in it, because if so, it's gonna be coming soon. But yes, it's one of the patterns I loved from this book, and I absolutely needed a shawl lately because in the evening it's quite chilly on the balcony, but it's not chilly enough to actually wear like a sweater or a coat or something like that. So I was like, if only I had a shawl, but I don't have any big shawls. I only have like small scarves. So I decided I desperately need a shawl, and I just casted it on without any thoughts and started working it. I am holding my merino, 100% merino cone from Vinted, held double for it. I can see my friend Amy panicking about how tight my gauge is, but I still love it. It's super squishy. And it's gonna be the main color for like the biggest part of the shawl. I will spend a lot of time knitting on it. It's gonna be a very long project. And then it's gonna be the color work. And I think I'm gonna switch to Host Coast in my brown and orange colors from the lemon sweater for it, because they seem to be perfect colors to add this stripe and also use up the yarn that I have left. I will not use up all the yarn I have left. I have a lot of yarn left, but like make a dent into my stash, kinda. So I'm not buying any new yarn for this one. Watch me be a smart girly. Now we have two whips that have been in the previous episode already. Ophelia Tink by Starcrossed Knits or Tamara Jordan. I don't remember what stage I was at the last time I showed it to you, but I can feel like it has been looking pretty much the same. The only things I've been working on is just like knitting round and round and round on the body, and I did not knit a lot, unfortunately. I was too busy finishing the first Colorwork sweater test knit and starting the next Colorwork sweater test knit. But it is growing slowly. I'm not rushing it. And yeah, not a big update, but I still love this project. Where we do have an update is my toe-up socks by Fingernamed. I have finally finished the first sock for my husband. And I can't be more proud of it. I actually finished it. It's actually a finished object. I did cast on the second sock immediately because otherwise I know I wouldn't ever do that. And I continue working on it as a travel project. So I'm working on it every time I am outside. I never work on it like mundanely at home. So soon, in a few months, my husband will finally get his own pair of socks. Now let's go into yarn acquisitions. I have been good this month. I did buy yarn, but not a lot. Hi, editing Nadya here. Do not listen to a word this woman says. She is lying to you. The second she finished recording this podcast, she went to a yarn store closing for summer vacation event where she bought 6 bowls of Midnight Sol by Camarose and 2 bowls of Alpaca One by Essea, 1 bowl of Marilyn, also by Essea, without any project in mind, just because it was on a sale and also because there was free champagne. I cannot even blame champagne for that, because you know what? Before that, I saw that Kasia from Pearls and Pose was adding her sash yarns to Vinted. And there was a very cute cone of wine-colored merino. No, not merino, lamb's wool, that I fell in love with. So I also bought a cone of yarn from Kasia with delivery from Poland. Nothing weird, right? So ignore everything I say about me being good and not buying too much yarn. That is all not true. I just didn't know that. Do not trust her. I mean, I actually did buy a lot of yarn. I am kind of wrong about it. The whole daisy, drops daisy for the another fish sweater, I had to buy it from scratch because the yarn I was planning to use did not work the way I wanted it to work. It was too thick and did not give me a good feeling about it. So I scrapped that idea and bought Drops Daisy. So I did buy like a kilogram of yarn. So, but it's not even like yarn that goes into the stash, right? It's yarn that I immediately casted on the sweater with, and it was like project related yarn. Yes, I'm trying to talk myself into not hating myself. Help me out a little bit. But I did make 2 Vinted purchases of yarn because if you know me, I am obsessed with buying secondhand yarn and then not knowing what to do with it until something enlightens me and I'm just like, ooh, I have perfect yarn for this. The most exciting one is this gorgeous sock yarn from Unigarn. I have no idea what color it is because it doesn't say on the sticker and it never said anywhere on the listing. But it's these like midnight sky grayish, purplish, bluish, indigo-ish color. I would lie if I said I knew what I wanted to do with it, but it was so cheap I had to buy it. Nadya, but you are friends with Fingernamed. You can just ask her to color you any yarn. That is true. But I am also a big fan of finding cheap treasures on the internet. I can't say anything. I have a problem, okay? I am working on it, but not very actively. The next vintage purchase is something I was looking to try, and then it just like came up on my page and I had to buy it immediately. I think I bought it like 30 seconds after it was uploaded. So I think the person who sold it to me thinks I'm insane. Maybe I am, but it was one full cone of Lame Ul by Familjen Davidson in this like cocoa chocolatey color, and a few smaller cones like used up yarn in this beige color, in this brick red color, this gorgeous bluish green color. I'm not even sure you will be able to see it. There's not enough light. I will post a picture if there's... Nadya, it's not a cone, it's a ball of yarn. Yeah, because I needed to unravel it to kind of weight it without the cone and then weight how much the cone weighs itself and then estimate how much yarn is on every single one of these because I needed to know how many meters I have of this yarn. Okay, so I wound it up. Don't sue me. What I'm gonna do with it, because it's not a big amount of yarn. Yes, it's like light fingering weight yarn, but even though it's a lot of meters, it's a very thin yarn. So I'm thinking of, like in the latest knitting pattern roundup, I mentioned this gorgeous creation that you can also wear like a headband or like a headscarf. And I think that I might try to actually use up these yarns to try to make one with the darker background and with the lighter colors as contrast colors on it. And I'm not sure about the green one. Honestly, it's so pretty, I don't really even want to use it, but I'll see how it goes. No plans set in stone, but I'm very excited about these ones. I also have a yarn kind of purchase, kind of not. Amy was getting something from the Danish shop that sells everything for spinning, and I noticed that they had a rowing of 50% alpaca, 50% tussa silk, and I was like, get me 100 grams of it, I want to try it. And she did. And now I have this 97-gram skein of it because 3 grams went to a swatch. I will post a picture here. It is so soft and squishy. It was a nightmare to spin. I'm telling you, spinning something with silk is not very good for my fingers, even though I'm not even holding and grabbing on it. It's just like it's cutting my fingers a bit, but the end result, you have no idea. It's I chain plied it, so it's a 3-ply in chain ply. It is so squishy and soft. I want to buy a few more rowings of it and actually spin enough to make a blouse because it's gonna be so damn soft. Obsessed. Now for the knitting plans. One knitting plan you already know about because I've been talking about it a lot. It's the Waves dress from Ronja Hakalehto, also from the same book, Unfolding Landscapes. And I already got yarn for it. The cone of Holst Coast Tundra is waiting for its moment. I just want to finish the Ophelia tank first and then cast on the next like big project. But I got a random another project that I really want to cast on, and I probably will because I have a need for it. It is a Nurture Bralette by Celine Phaeton. Nadya, but you made a video about things you'll never knit and it had a lingerie section in it. That is true. But I'm not planning to make it into a bralette. I want to kind of modify it so that it's more of a cropped top that sits on your waist and then goes into bralette. Why? Because I need something that I will be able to wear when the same heat wave situation happens. Because I cannot comprehend wearing bras during the heat wave, but at the same time, I cannot not wear a bra during the heat wave because I don't have the body shape to not suffer when I walk with these two ladies bouncing around. That's not comfortable, and actually it can be painful, so would not recommend. So this bralette, if I modify it to be a top, and I saw a lot of people in the projects actually making it into the top, it can solve me all of my problems because it will give me like a very light support that I need to actually walk, and it will make me sweat much less. So it's a very practical project to cast on, but I should probably wait until I finish at least something. Should I power through socks maybe? I don't know. But I even have yarn for it already. And it's Life in the Long Grass Silk Merino that I got in Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam last year. I got one skein for me and one skein for my husband. I used the skein for me, and now my husband can't choose what he wants to be made out of this yarn, and we couldn't find anything he would want. So he was like, maybe you can use it for your bralette. And I was like, maybe I could. Thank you very much. So that's what I'm gonna use. We'll see if I will be able to cast on any of these two projects by the next podcast. And now we have my favorite section, but if you are only here for knitting, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, please consider pressing the like button, subscribing if you haven't already, and maybe hyping up the video or following me on other social media, such as Instagram and TikTok. And now we're moving to media that I consumed. This time it's mostly gaming related. I got 2 games and 1 anime. The games, one of them made me so addicted, it's painful. I started this game and 5 hours later I realized I haven't been up from my chair. My buttocks are completely numb from sitting, and I haven't been to the toilet in 5 hours, so my bladder was also not very happy with me. But I didn't even understand this was going on because, first of all, ADHD and hyperfocus. Second of all, this game is so addictive. This game is called Librarian Tidy Up the Arcane Library or something like that. Basically, if you look up Librarian on Steam, you will find it. And it is a simulator of a magical library where your job is to pick up books from the floor and put them in their designated spaces. You have different sections of the library. So, for example, like you have a magic section, you have economics section, you have philosophy section, psychology, summoning, and you have a lot of books on the floor. Basically, imagine a ADHD person's room, and it's much bigger and has 2 floors. Yeah, sorry girls for calling you out like that. I know there's a lot of us here with this problem. But yes, basically, instead of cleaning up your own apartment, you can do that in a magical library that doesn't give you anything other than satisfaction of very nice. As usual, I'm telling you, I am smart, I'm not wise. But what is even more addictive about this game is that the names of the books are sometimes so funny. You keep searching for new treasures there. And just the relaxation of just picking up books, going to their related sections, putting them in their place, collecting all these series, if you will. And also you will be able to unlock powers that will make it quicker if you want to be finished quicker, or you can just continue to make it a relaxing experience that allows you to just turn your brain off and enjoy the ambience of the library where you, as an unpaid worker, are working overtime to put all the books into their places. 10 out of 10. I am legit thinking of replaying this game without using any magic and just playing calmly. I did not do that. I did use magic, so I finished the game in 1 day, but I really want to replay it now. The second game I want to talk to you about is Inkwell. It literally just came out like a few weeks ago, if I remember correctly. It is a co-op game, so it's for those of you who like games like Escape Academy, Escape Simulator, We Were Here, kind of room escape-ish games where it's about the puzzles that you need to be solving together to be able to solve. My husband and I love games like that, so we were waiting for this game a lot, and I will say that this game has a huge potential because it's super, super beautiful. Like the effects, all this, like the models they used to create this world, they are insanely pretty. I was absorbed in the whole atmosphere of this sanctuary, kind of church in nature style of buildings. It is gorgeous, absolutely. Like, no questions asked about the atmosphere. I do have questions asked about two aspects. First of all, damn, this game is buggy, but it is to be expected from the game that has been just released. I mean, it's not a good thing, but we are kind of, as gamers, we are used to it. Not a good thing, once again, but I can't really pin it on them for populating games that are not well tested when we have huge corporations that are releasing games that were not properly tested and asking like $70 for them. So definitely not blaming the developers for that, but I think that it's better to play this game a little bit later when only like most critical bug fixes are fixed. And I really hope that they will add an actual like save button, because otherwise you need to restart the whole level every time you quit the game. And boy, oh boy, is that annoying. And the second thing that I have, well, questions about, they were going for the classic quest style as games like Myst, where the riddles and the puzzles are not exactly explained to you per se. You kind of need to read the environment and understand how it gives you hints, which is great. And I love stuff like that, but I can tell you that a lot of gamers nowadays will not like it. Mostly because it is not something that is easy to do. It can get very annoying when you don't understand what you're supposed to do. So like your problem is not being able to do it, but not being able to understand what you were supposed to do in the first place. So while I love this game, my husband was a little bit more annoyed about it. But overall, definitely will recommend it. It's now on a summer sale, so I would recommend getting it, but playing it when some time has passed already. The last piece of media is actually an anime, and it's called Odd Taxi. It was such a journey. I am a big fan of anime, but I'm usually going either for like a very dramatic, like drama, everybody's dead, everybody's sad kind of anime, or fun anime. So like any kind of comedy, maybe romantic comedies, think like Oran High School Host Club. Now, I did not expect Odd Taxi to be both of these things. Like, it makes you think a lot about your life choices, and about people around you. But at the same time, it is quite a comedic anime. It tells you a story about a walrus who works as a taxi driver. He is a little bit antisocial and very snarky. So he's not exactly the friendliest person to be around, but there are a lot of people who actually find it quite refreshing talking to the taxi driver, who has quite strong opinions on things. Now, the whole plot revolves around a mystical disappearance of a high school girl, and our taxi driver is the last person to be considered seeing her in his taxi when he gave her a ride. So everybody is very suspicious of our walrus. So of course, the only logical thing is to actually find out what happened himself, especially if he's pressured by a whole mafia gang. Technically not a whole mafia gang, but two mafia gangs, where one of the leaders of the mafia gangs is a hedgehog who is always rapping instead of talking. So he only communicates in rap. There's also a very sweet love interest of an alpaca nurse who wants to help our character be less lonely. So overall, it's a very, very, very fun to watch, but also deep anime about relationships, about personal demons, and about huge plot twists that you do not expect and then cry your eyes out. No spoilers. This was one of the best things I watched this whole year, so absolutely recommend. You gotta watch it. It's masterpiece, I swear. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.